What's up, podcast family? Welcome to the Nothing I'm Fine podcast. This is the podcast where we yell out loud, take up space, and speak truth. I am DM, the street evangelist. Before we get started, I first want to tell you thank you because there are 500 million podcasts circulating, and you chose to trust me, to guide you, to lead you for this next hour. And so I am eternally grateful for your presence. I'm grateful for your engagement, for your really on all platforms, right? I do this because I really want God to get the glory, but I also want to make sure that I pay it forward. When I was younger and I was growing up and I was going through my process, I had some people who paid it forward to me, and they would always bless me, right? Rather it was monetarily, rather it was with encouragement, rather it was just help along the way. And I would always go back and I would work to go pay them what I could because I wanted them to know that I'm grateful and I'm not a taker. Most of the time, they would smack my hand down and say, "Don't insult me." Then what will follow is, "Don't pay it back, pay it forward." And so I thank you for joining me because the only thing I want to do is pay it forward for all the people who made investments in me just to be here even on this podcast. All right. Now I really want to talk about the anchor scripture of this podcast. This podcast, the anchor scripture comes from Revelations chapter 3, verse 20. And the Bible says, "Here I am. I stand at the door and knock. If anyone hears me, opens up the door, I will come in and dine with them." Just to give you some context, the Holy Spirit or the Lord is on the outside of his church. And the church is Laodicea. And as the people are in church, right, they are enjoying being socioeconomically advantaged. They have the textile business booming. They have the trade routes. They have what they need to survive. God has blessed them tremendously. And yet, Jesus or the Holy Spirit is not present. And so we find ourselves sometimes, right, enjoying the blessings of God, enjoying the favor of God, without the Holy Spirit being present. This church, sometimes like us as entrepreneurs, we can celebrate life, celebrate our achievements, but miss God. And so this podcast is here, watch this, not to just teach you about entrepreneurship and organizational leadership, but to make sure that we become holy hustlers, right? Holy meaning devoted to God. This is a Christian podcast. This is aimed for Christian entrepreneurs, right? Looking to go to the next level as they take up space. Heal out loud, take up space, and speak truth. But on the other side of holiness is hustlers. Hustling meaning that you are exerting extreme effort to secure legitimate business or a bag, right? And I'm no stranger to hustling, right? And my guests can attest, right, that you know they call me Prophet Moffitt, and it wasn't Prophet as if I'm talking about what thus says the Lord. I'm trying to get some money. 1 for 3, 2 for 5. You know what I'm saying? God. 1 for 3, 2 for 5. Right? Seriously. Hustling. No, but for real, right? Like he could tell you, listen, I didn't sold shirts, candy, Rellos,
and we support. He said,
man, listen, man. He ain't supporting it. He not the Rellos,
not that,
but the candy, the wristbands, the shirts, right? Like I'm trying to sell anything to make sure that, right, like that I get some money. It wasn't always holy, right? But I found the Lord about 8 years ago, and as I found the Lord, I got to learn about holiness, and I didn't have to choose between either being holy or being a hustler. It was like, yo, I have the best of both worlds. I grew up how I grew up, right? And so I just have to lead with holiness, with my faith in Jesus Christ, but I also have to be, pay homage and be honest about who I am. And so this podcast is aimed to help you as entrepreneurs, no matter where you are, go to that next level in your entrepreneurship journey, right? Because one day you could be sleeping with roaches on Section 8 housing, makeshift beds. The next day, 2 degrees, full-time teaching, right? Working on your home. Or, that's my story. Or you could be, watch this, as I work to introduce my guest, you could be a graduate of the Male High School.
Yeah.
Right?
Dogs.
One of them guys to bring back prominence to the, you know what I'm saying, Male High School, right?
Only the real know that.
Only the real, you know what I'm saying? Part of the money team.
Yeah.
Right? Bringing it back into prominence, right? He is a person who is a twin, which I swear to you, I used to want to be a twin, right? And so I was a little jealous because I'm like, yo, like, you got something special in your genes. You know what I'm saying? Got something special, right?
Brother.
Also, he's a former teammate of mine from at Kentuckty Wesleyan, right?
Yes, sir.
He has a heart of a lion, right? You know what I'm saying? And Hustle and Flow, whenever Terrence said, it ain't the size of the dog in the fight, it's the size of fighting the dog, right? Like, he was definitely talking about my guest here, right? And so I don't necessarily know all of his family business. I work to stay out of people's family, personal life, but I do know that he is married with 3 beautiful daughters.
4. We got a little one in there. She's 3.
Jesus,
we done now. We done now.
For right now, he's done.
Nah, forever. We good. We good.
Yeah, listen, he got 4 the hard way. And his past life, he must have been a dog.
Come on, bro.
I'm just playing. He's been faithful for as long as I've known him. No, I swear to you, I was the dog, okay? I was the dog. But he is the proud owner of the Malone Development Center that practice STEAM, right?
Yes, sir.
Science, technology, engineering, agriculture, and mathematics, right?
That is correct.
And so he actually opened up, and it's matter of fact, he actually has a day.
Yeah.
In Kentucky.
True story.
True story. He has a day called the what day?
Malone Development Center LLC Day.
Yeah. And what day is that?
May 9th.
Yeah, May 9th, right? And so he definitely allowed me to come in and to share a homily, just to bless the place. And so, but I'm speaking to the none other than Mike Malone. And so thank you. So
yes, sir.
First,
thank you for having me, man.
Yeah, thank you. So thank you for allowing me to be a guest on. Well, thank you for being a guest on the show.
Absolutely.
Right. As I was going through all of the people who I have in the network, rather social media and personally, I really wanted you personally because I recognize that you are doing something that is uncommon. Right. You have right now. I'm gonna say this right now. You have one daycare, right? And this daycare, I believe, if you steward it well, can be the model for a franchise, right? If you want to just put it out. So, for you to do this at such a young age, I just really wanted to, hone in on this moment for that. But also, I know that you have character, you have integrity. I witnessed you be faithful when it was uncommon. I witnessed you do things that was different, in college, right? That is uncommon, and so I want to sit down with uncommon entrepreneurs to make sure that we're shaping the next generation of people. And so, first, thank you for that.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you for recognizing that.
Yeah. Listen. Yeah, thank you. Listen, it's easy to recognize what's different when you are around the same things. Right.
Yeah.
I can say I probably recognized you and your brother in high school because they would always talk about male, and I'm like, I came from dogs.
Right.
And so I'm like, we make headlines for the wrong reasons. If you feel, somebody got locked up, somebody got killed, probably happened at Dawes, probably happened at Iroquois Western, right? So that's just where I went. But coming up after the guys who came before us at Male, right? After those guys, it was the the twins. Man, who are these? You know what I'm saying? Man, who are these?
That's why we had that chip on our shoulder right there.
I'm like, bro, who are these twins? Like, do you not know who I am? Why are we talking about somebody else and I'm right here?
You was that guy. Yeah. They was them guys for sure.
I was, and I was one of them guys that like didn't want nobody else to get their shine on. Not around me at least. I ain't gonna lie to you. Who? Him twins. Bro, I am a singular guy. You know what I'm saying? I beat the odds, bro.
Not myself.
But Doss is different from Mel, right? And so I got to tip my hat because I didn't know. Y'all was them guys. I was them guys, yo.
Appreciate the respect.
Yeah, like, you know, I played with guys like Zay in Youth League. Right? Dog, you know what I'm saying? Keon, right?
My guys.
Youth League. I didn't think Keon was going to take off.
Right, okay.
Like, at all, right? I'm like, I mean, he was a young bull. He was a...
Right.
But to see him, like, go to that, I'm like...
What he did.
Yo, it's different, right? You
did it.
Michi was a dog. Him, honestly, I thought Michi, no shade, I thought he was, I thought he was ready to go to that next level. Like, he was one of them ones, too.
He was definitely one of them guys.
Like, from a young age, because, like, plus, he always had the chip.
What they call him, the human joystick.
Man, human joystick. Listen, so Raiders did things different.
Yeah.
So, man, fireworks, late nights.
Oh,
man.
I was at the game.
You know?
I was there.
Yeah. And so, like, man, they got the OG who used to do the dirt bowl, or still does. And he goes, there goes that.
He's cold. He's cold.
Mama, there goes that man. Circle, turn the analog stick, right? So, like, bro, like, Michi was really
he was
one of them
one.
Bro, fast is all get out. Fast as bro, like I swear to you, I was jealous.
Yeah.
Listen, and I don't mind to tell you, bro, I was a player hater.
You say you player hater.
I was a player hater, dog. And so like he's eating, I'm like, yo, like but like I couldn't be like now that I'm older. Right. Like the player hater was so unjust.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because there's room for everybody to shine. Right. There's room for everybody to shine, right? Which probably like leads me to ask my first question. Right. Like what before we even talk about entrepreneurship, like let's talk about the maturation of, you know, like you coming up in football. Like let's talk about football just for a moment. What did football mean to you at such a young age?
That's a loaded question right there.
Very much.
What it meant to me. So me and my bro, we got 2 older sisters, and then mom, and then my pops passed away when we was 2 years old. So with that happening, like we had next door neighbors, which our next door neighbors was Dexter Heyman. I don't know if you know them. Dexter Heyman. He played at Mill and played at Louisville, ended up going to the NFL. And then Earl Heyman, which is his brother, played D-line at Ballard, all-state guy. And also went to Louisville. So when them guys was in college or going to college, getting recruited, Bobby Petrino came to the back of the apartments, like where we lived at, because he's my next door neighbor.
Oh man!
So he comes back there, he's throwing the football with us, and you know all the kids are saying, "You gonna give me a scholarship?" So that right there, that just already lit us up. Like we seeing the college teams coming over to visit them and stuff like that after they lost to West Virginia when Pat White and all of them guys was there. They came over my house after the game, Earl and Dexter, and we slammed the door in their face. Nah, y'all lost.
I know you lied.
They used to come over and get plates and stuff like that. My mom's cook. So we like, nah, y'all lost. Y'all out of here. But that type of stuff right there, and then just like not having that father figure in our life, it was their mom that convinced my mom, like, hey, them boys don't need to be in there watching cartoons. They need to be on that football field. Take them over to it was the Steelers at the time turned into Louisville Fire over at Algonquin Park. So we went over there. You know, first year I'm talking about, I just remember guys just running for touchdowns. I didn't know what was going on. I'm like, bro, what? By the second year we picked up, but I just loved that team, that teamwork, and you know, having those fathers, because those coaches was, you know, you with them all the time. You know, we was with them on the weekends and things like that. Coach Bussy, you know, Coach GB, all those guys like father figures that I still talk to this day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So just that Little League, I feel like was just in a different era. I'm not sure. I'm not in it now, but that time it was something that created men. You know what I mean? And our coaches, we would run through a brick wall for them guys. Like they knew some stuff to make you do whatever they said. And then it was our coaches. Like one time, me and Malik had got in trouble for, I don't know if it was grades or something, or doing something we wasn't supposed to be doing. And so Mom's, we think she's playing. Mom's like, y'all not going to that game. It was a game. We had an easy game. We was going to play Fairdale. Everybody's getting 3 touchdowns apiece.
Everybody's eating.
No disrespect to Fairdale.
No disrespect to Fairdale at that time.
At that time, we like, bro, we about to. Mom's like, y'all not. I'm going to the game, but y'all not. So she went to the game. Coach, never forget, Coach Tony. We walking in the hood over on 31st Street, and Coach Tony was pulled up after the game, stopped his truck, seen us walking. Both of y'all, get over her now. Man, what are y'all doing? Everybody went off today. He had 3 touchdowns. He had 2 touchdowns. So it was just those type of moments like that really like, all right, bro, I can't play around. Like people's not playing with me out here. So that football brings, everybody together. When we get to male, it's, a lot of white people mixed with black people. You know what I mean? So you learn how to mingle with all type of races. You know what I mean? So I just feel like football is a sport that brings all different backgrounds together. And really create a brotherhood. So that's something I always love. Yeah.
Listen, so my mom. So one of the most fondest memories of my youth league career was when, I can't tell you who I was playing, but I was a newbie. And so like my mom put me in football to keep me out the streets. Right. I have 2 other siblings too.
For sure.
Right. But you didn't know that though.
You had 2 older siblings? No, I didn't know that. No.
Didn't know that. Right. But so for them, they were in the penitentiary system. Right. Gotcha. And so like doing hard time. And so like my mom said, I don't want to lose you.
Right.
So I'm about to keep you busy.
Exactly.
Right. And so she put me in football, and so I never had a why.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? Like
you better go to practice.
Yeah, you better go to practice. You can't quit. If you quit, I already paid my money.
Exactly.
Right?
Once mom pay that money, it's over.
Bro, it is. Right? Once some fees get paid, and we even got it to give, bro, my mama would have had my be on my boots, bro. Right. But my fondest memory of football was, I remember, and it really for me like sets up the rest of my life and like my relationship with my mom.
Right.
Man, I'm playing somebody wherever, it really don't matter. And I break for a touchdown.
Right.
I'm sure I'm about to walk into this end zone. But all I hear is my mama, go son, go son. And like I know my mama's voice.
Right.
Go son. Something clicked. Turn up.
Yeah, that's when you took off.
Right. And so I take off, and when but that taught me that for me, right, like one thing that drove me was my relationship with my mom, and just to hear my mama say, go son, go son, go son.
Yeah.
Like I don't know what it was for that, like that moment, but anytime I'm doing anything, and it's like I hear my mama go. I got to make mama right.
Right.
That's my lesson though.
For sure.
Is that I learned my why in life as a young kid of football. Right. Make my mama proud.
Exactly.
Don't go to, what I'm saying? Like don't choose the streets. Right. Like don't do this. Don't follow in the footsteps of my brothers.
Right.
I mean, I dab, what I'm saying? Of course, like growing up.
Right.
But
you gotta learn.
That was my why.
Yeah.
So as we talk about, you having some adversity, right? Father, not being able to be there, physically because of, what happened, mom raising you. You got 2 older siblings, right?
Yeah.
What was the lesson, or like what's your fondest memory playing youth league football? Do you have one?
Playing youth league football,
or just football in general?
Football in general. Okay, I'm gonna go to high school for that one.
Yeah.
That was it.
Yeah.
best memory. We got one. We got a couple in college too.
Yeah,
but in high school specifically, you know, St. X and Trinity. Yeah. Them guys is unbeatable here. Yeah, different. You know, to the public school system. Mm-hmm. And for us, like when Wolf came in, they went to the state championship that first year. You know, but it was a lot of pressure because, you know, Bobby Redmond right before that did a lot, you know, for the program, and you know, Wolf had to live up to those expectations. Yeah. So we had my freshman year, so we went to state our freshman year, sophomore and junior year, we lost 32 seniors. That was the whole team. 32 seniors going into my sophomore year.
32.
32.
Hey, dog.
This is
that's unheard of.
Right.
That's unheard of.
So it was a rebuild. Like so we seen the years where guys is not just wearing a male jersey just to wear a male jersey. You know what I mean? We went through, you know, it was tough. We walked down in the West End and it's people coming out of their house. Y'all play for male? What are y'all doing over there? You know, like really coming at us. Like the alumni at Male is no joke. Like you gotta represent at all times. It was guys after those games, St. X and Trinity games. I remember alumni screaming, "This is not male football. This is not," like stuff like that. You know what I mean? And that really, like, it got into me and my brother. So the next year we did a little bit better. We popped out at we went like 5-1 at the beginning of the season. And then we played that power structure schedule, which was St. X, Trinity, Manual. I forget who the fourth team. We was the fourth team. Yeah. But that super district lost. Yeah. You know what I mean? So it was like, what can we do different? So that whole off season, like me and Malik, we was like, we got to turn it up. We gotta like really set the history for this program for years to come. That was our mindset, and we know to do that. Like it couldn't have took coach. You know, it's got to come from the players. This is something that's player driven. So most of our players during the off season, they run track. Me and Malik made it a pact, like we can't leave this group of guys. This is the core, you know. So we're gonna stay here, you know, be the leaders and make sure that everybody's doing what they're supposed to do. So we had player meetings. We had player meetings without coaches, and with this,
that young,
and going into our senior seasons. And it was like it's some young guys on Mel's team that didn't know that we was cool guys until we graduated. Like, but that's how you had to do it to be able to beat St. X and Trinity. Like, we own you about skipping workouts, going to chase girls, or you know, not doing your classwork. Like, we own you. Like, or you need your tutor and things like that. If you missing class or you missing practice, you telling us about it before you tell Wolf about it. You know, and then we address Wolf. Hey, blah blah blah. You know, gotta stay after to catch up some homework. He'll be here at blah 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 time. You know, it was, you know, some guys on our team that was in our class that, you know, we had to have tough conversations with. You know what I mean? And holding people accountable. But all of those things helped us really guide that group, and we ended up beating St. X and Trinity. It was the first time in 20 years that it's happened. Our offense was clicking, our defense was clicking. We was brothers, you know, at the end of the day. We had their back, and our practices, the practices was practiced harder than the games was, if that makes sense. So like our offensive ones versus our defensive ones, and guys is going at it, like receivers, like running backs, everybody's talking smack, but we know where the line draws. Like, we're not gonna take it too far, but we gonna, you know, everybody's cold out there. We're gonna pop our stuff. So the practices was very intense, but it led us to beating St. X and Trinity 4 times that season. 4 times. It'd be St. X and Trinity twice. I mean, St. X twice, Trinity twice.
Jesus.
And they had some guys.
That's unheard of.
They had some guys on their team. But yeah, that was definitely. And then the student sections chased us back to the school. Like, we had to run from them and lock the doors. Like, and you know how many students got.
A whole lot.
But yeah, that was like a college, like surreal college moment to me. Definitely the best memories right there for sure.
So why did that one stick out?
Just because that was something that ain't been done since, I think, Mike Bush and all those guys.
Oh man.
Or probably even a little bit before that, but I think I want to say Bush beat those guys, but they had battles and it was something that wasn't done. And I remember after beating, we beat St. X first, and Wolf was like, "You guys think this is something? Wait till next week. Wait till we beat Trinity." You know, and we like, "Oh, we ain't even thought about that." Like, dang, we do. Let's celebrate this one first, man. But yeah, that was a special one. But it showed me as well, like as you get older in life, like it had me to have the confidence to go in my interviews based off of my leadership skills in football. You know, to go in and tell them, "Hey, I know I can run this multi-million-dollar operation and be successful because I led a group of 100 men to now they lost maybe 10 to 15 games in the past 20 years, went to 6 or 7 state championships. I mean, Wolf's accolades is crazy, but he does pay homage to us. He says, let us know like if it was because of y'all leadership that turned the heads of these young men, so the young guys after us, they seen how we did things, and when we used to come back, they had them guys in check. Like it's all about the leadership. So that leadership, you know, really led me to going into interviews with Enterprise 3. You have 3-section interviews with regional vice presidents and the big guys that's making the money.
Yeah.
And you going in with that confidence, like you'd be silly not to hire me. You know what I mean? From what I know that I can do with a group of people. You know what I mean? Getting people to see the big picture. You know what I mean? And not just the day-to-day. You know, like for football, our goal is the state championship.
Always.
You know what I mean? So translating that to the business world, you know, what is our goals? Let's put them in place. Yeah. What is the daily actions, daily steps it's going to take for us to get there? For us at football, it was working on Sundays when nobody else was working. Yeah. You know, we putting in work. That's the extra days that's going to separate us from our competition because ain't nobody working on Sundays.
No, I ain't. That's what church. I'm going to sleep, going around.
You feel me? So we just did things like that to really take us to the next level. And everybody bought in collectively. But it led us to knowing like this is what it takes to be successful in life. Like we know if we put these daily deposits in, it's like an ATM. I keep putting daily deposits in. You know, at the end of the month, you know, you positive. You positive OP now. Yeah, you feel me? We can withdraw now from that, you know, and reap the benefits of it. So that's the same effects of your daily habits, you know what I mean? And football just teach you all of those things when you get old enough and to look at it. I ain't that old, but feel like it, man.
Hey, bro, I got years in, dog.
Right.
Mike got CTE. Well, I got CTE in this mug. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Yeah, I'm starting to feel it. For
you know
sure.
what I'm saying?
I ain't gonna lie to you.
Yeah. One that's beautiful, right? Because what I hear is, right, like your why, of course, is leading and like really carrying the standard.
Right.
Right. Like that's what I got. Like, you know, you are able to carry the standard from one place to the next. That's a challenge, right? Because like you have to be one of the guys who cannot make excuses. You have to lead by example. You have to be the ones that people don't like, right? Like you have to hold people accountable. And so it seems like really football did what. So football did what it was supposed to to fill that void of you know fatherhood. Because a man, I believe, a man especially in any space, you're supposed to lead. Right. Like you're supposed to hold the standard. Like you're supposed to hold people accountable. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? From the top, visibly. And so you have, you know, football played that role in that. I really don't want to tap into the, you know, loss of your father, right? Because that, you know, will probably be a little bit much for this episode, right? For sure. But I do want to really talk about entrepreneurship. Okay. Right. I do because for me, my journey into entrepreneurship, right? You know, I said it earlier. I grew up socioeconomically disadvantaged, right? Disenfranchised communities, marginalized, of course. You know, this being a heterosexual black man, it's crazy out here, right? I already know it. But growing up, how I grew up, I'm around addiction, I'm around abuse, but also I'm around street pharmaceutical reps.
Street pharmaceutical.
You know what I'm saying? Very sophisticated. Yeah. Very sophisticated operations, right? So I learned entrepreneurship from hustles. Right. I would say unholy hustles.
Right.
And so as I'm growing, as I'm seeing what's going on, how they make their money, laundering money, whatever, right? I recognize, all right, boom. I may not like the method,
right,
but I understand the process, right? Number one, there's risk, there's a standard, right? There, there's that was my introduction to entrepreneurship.
Gotcha.
But as I grew up, right, I started selling, clothes, selling merchandise. I recognized that working a 9-to-5 wasn't for me. I ain't gonna lie to you. I turned
got out early, huh?
Bro, I figured that out, bro. Listen, so my parents told me, mind you, honor roll student, athlete, year round, helping raising my sisters younger. My parents tell me, you ain't got a job.
They said what? You ain't got a job?
I ain't got a job.
You ain't got a job.
A bush. Football.
Right.
Education.
Yeah.
Taking care of my sisters.
Full-time job.
Full-time job to me. I don't know what you talking about, right? So my parents told me, you're going to have to pay for your own phone bill. I go to McDonald's.
Gotcha, okay.
Right there off Cane Run in Rockford, I think. What? On the back end.
I know exactly what you're talking about, yeah.
Bro, I go in there, I work. I'm like, bro, I'm about to be bold. Bro, this is beneath me, though. No knock to those who do it.
For sure.
But I'm saying for me, the standard for me,
right.
What I know that I'm called to, bro, this is beneath. I'm not doing this, bro.
Yeah. Everybody got to start somewhere.
Everybody got to start somewhere, and I ain't got to start here. I ain't got to start here.
So,
this ain't it. I lasted for about 2 or 3 months, right? But I got there to get to here, right? That was my I knew entrepreneurship was my way, or something else was my way, because that wasn't it. But I was willing to cut grass, right. Like I'm in elementary with a crew of 4. Yeah. Hey yo, you knock on that door. $25 front and back, right? And so entrepreneur, you know what I'm saying? For me, was that it was landscaping when it was cold. It was icing up, you know what I'm saying? Shoveling snow. I got older, of course. Like I said, selling just merchandise, just whatever I can, because for me it was a rush.
Right.
I didn't want to deal drugs for you know what I'm saying. So I needed something to give me that edge, like that rush. Like, hey, bro, I'm him.
Right.
Like hand-to-hand sales.
Right.
That's my journey.
Sales, yep.
But after I retired from football, right, my identity was shook.
Right. That's a lot of people.
Everybody. Bro, it shook me. Transitioning for me, right? But I recognized that if I just took my transferable skills from football and I could apply it to something, business, I have a shot.
Exactly.
So you talked about the standard. You talked about these sacrifices, leadership, daily habits. How does your former seasons, right? What you used to do in past. How did that prepare you to be responsible for leading the Malone Development Center, LLC?
Okay. Meaning in my corporate journey?
Yes. Okay. Yes. But focusing more on the entrepreneurship journey, because you're taking the bigger risk here. And even in corporate, even you playing football, right? What transferable skills from those industries, how has it prepared you to be this entrepreneur that you are now?
Gotcha. I mean, I guess when we talk about transferable skills, one thing, like I said earlier, we always talk about when I go into any room is my leadership capabilities, my group, my ability to bring a group of people together to achieve a common goal. It's something that I'm very good at, and that started in youth league. I've been a team captain on all my teams, me and Twin. Every team I've been on, from the Louisville Fire, the Male, to Kentuckty Wesleyan, always been that team captain. So leadership there's started with me selling that dream to enterprise, letting them know that I do have that in the tank. Meeting with corporate division heads, that make the big bucks, picking their brain. How did you get to where you got to? What is some of the traits that you need? And Enterprise, they want to hire those folks that's just out of college, athletes, because they know that those qualities that they have is going to lead into a great manager, lead into a great department head, things like that. But for me, it was with Enterprise, the way Enterprise started. Have you ever heard the story?
I've never heard.
I don't know. I wouldn't have known it either if I had worked for him. But I learned the story. I went down to St. Louis and heard from the granddaughter, which is the third generation CEO, Chrissy Taylor. Met her, and they're one of the richest families in the world. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So listening to Jack Taylor's story and how he started was him, and he had one other person. They started off as like a car sales or something in that nature. Leasing, it was called a leasing company, was what the name of it was. And he sold cars out of a garage, or rented cars, or leased them. He leased them out, and from there just continued to grow this enterprise, to promote from within type of company. And for me to see that, I'm like, man, this guy, seeing I'm a full circle type of guy. Like, he started out of almost a garage, a little shack, and now I'm in his corporate building with glass everywhere, glass office and things like that. And now his great daughter or whatever is now, she's running this whole enterprise that's make billions of dollars. So that it got my wheels spinning. Like, I know that's my type of lane. And for me, I always was a guy that wanted to have a free type of schedule. Was one of my biggest goals, so that I could have more time with my kids and things like that. There's a news flash today. It's not that.
What's the news flash?
You don't have a free schedule, okay? I'm here to tell you.
Slow it down. What you mean, yo? What you mean?
I mean, it's the grind don't stop. When these doors open, you are constantly got things going. And this is not the only thing I do as well. I have 9 to 5s as well. I don't give up the 9 to 5. So being able to juggle, being a CEO, overseeing, and then also having a 9 to 5 where I'm a sales manager as well, and run daily operations where I'm at. But you got to have a lot of discipline doing it, right? And I just think that's something that but from that past, definitely helped me get to where I need to get to.
Yeah. So I did my research.
Okay.
I did my research, and while I was researching, I recognized it took you 10 years to bring this to pass.
Bring what?
Bring this to pass, right?
Right.
Based on the articles, you said that this was about 10 years in the making.
Right.
You're about to be 30.
Right.
When?
About to be 30 probably next week.
Bro, next week you'll be 30. So that means that when you was 19,
right,
you was already thinking on this.
Yep.
Right. I want to talk about risk in entrepreneurship, right? Because the transferable skills, right? Like what I want them to understand is that like there's no wasted reps.
Exactly.
Right. Like what you are doing now, you may not be doing what you think you ought to be doing. You may not be doing it at the level you want to be doing, but you're making those daily deposits, right? Like you're getting those mental reps, because maybe in this season there is a skill that you need to be sharpening, right? Like or maybe there is this thing that God wants you to perfect, your faith, your character, or maybe He wants you to perfect your hustle, right? Your discipline, your leadership, and so like once we get here, right, and value the moment,
right.
We also have to talk about the risk.
Exactly.
What took you 10 years?
What took me 10 years?
Because I probably would have been had kids. I got a homie with a daycare.
Right. Man, let me wipe my face real quick.
Hey,
I just noticed that I'm sweating like
Theo thought this.
Give me room.
We good, right? And so I got you, bro. I got you. And so what I want you to understand as the audience is that you cannot and you must not waste the space, waste the time, waste the opportunity wherever you are. Wherever you are, I need you to recognize that there is a purpose in why you are where you are. There is something right there. To me, I think that there's always going to be two things that needs to be perfected. Number one, your holiness and your, watch this, your hustle. Right? It may be either or it may be both. Either you need to perfect your devotion to the Lord, or you need to perfect your hustle, your ability to secure legitimate business. Right? Somebody like me, what this looks like is that when I was growing up, I told you I grew up around criminal enterprise, right? Street pharmaceutical reps, like they solicited illegal narcotics, right? They laundered money, and so I learned entrepreneurship from a different way, right? It wasn't the traditional sense. I didn't have anybody in boardrooms. I didn't have anyone who were CEOs. I didn't have anyone actually doing legitimate business, right? Like as we would do it, without using illicit, and unsolicited gains, right? Come on, right? I didn't have that. What I had was people who were teaching me how to be a criminal and how to do business. The challenge was in my go through of selling wristbands, and merchandise, and shirts, right? Like I had to learn that I can't mix that and then mix Rellos, right? Because on one end, right, the brand was really, even back in high school, college, nothing I'm fine, right? That was the brand then, but also it was humble over height. And so Nothing I'm Fine was also me about sharing about how Jesus saved me. A person who was sexually abused, a person who came up, how they came up. God used me. God still saved me. Like I'm still here doing things that 98% of the world couldn't do, right? Playing college ball, right? After high school. And so, but I had to learn that, boom, I can't mix what's holy with what is unholy, because I'm going to mess it up. And so albeit I was perfecting the holiness, I didn't recognize that God was also working to perfect holiness. I'm sorry, the hustle. I didn't know that God was perfecting the holiness in me. That now you can't get me to sell no Rello. You can't get me to go call the plug to go get, whatever, right? Like you can't convince me to go risk my life. You can't convince me to go launder money. You can't convince me to go do something that would jeopardize the holiness and what God is perfecting in me as I am securing legitimate business as a holy hustler, right? And so that's what I need you to understand, is that you and I have to maximize the moment that we are in to make sure that we are getting the holiness perfected and getting the hustle perfected, so that we can really live this thing out on an everyday basis. But you left off on realizing that being an entrepreneur meant that you do not have free time,
especially starting out.
And so I was, asking you about the risk. Like, what took you so long to get here?
I mean, first it's a thought, right?
Yeah.
So my fiance Leah, she's always been in daycare. She's been in it since probably 12 or 13 years old. Mm-hmm. So that's what she knows from the back of her hand. And she's always, been in it. Then she became a director, doing great things, being a director. But then my owner of a center where she was at, came to me and was just like, she's bigger than us. She can walk the walk and talk the talk. And that's all I needed to hear. You know what I mean? That's all. Say less. You let me know exactly what you might have did too much, but you let me know what I needed to hear. Yeah. And so from there, my wheels were spinning. I was always like, what should my first business be? Because my whole family is entrepreneurs. Like, my uncle was an entrepreneur. My cousins are entrepreneurs. Like, they always did something. They might have that 9 to 5, but they always was doing something. Yeah. So it was something I knew I need to find what I want to do. You know what I mean? And I think going into business with your spouse is one of the smartest things that you can do. Okay. And so for me, it was, I know I needed to create that lane. So it was always a thought. Like the people, even when I first started Enterprise, was like, you know, they once they seen this vision come to light and really see it going, they like, I remember you talking about that when you was at Enterprise. Like you were really like you really got that going. I was like, when I say I'm gonna do something, I'm not just saying it. Like, you know, and then a lot of people will say, don't share your ideas. I don't. I will share my idea because nobody's gonna stop this idea but me. Like I don't let the opinions of others weigh down on what I got going, because I'm confident in myself from football, right? And I built my self-esteem up to know that you're used to haters, right? You're used to people saying, naysayers, and saying, you know, you're not gonna do this or you're not gonna do that. They've been waiting. They've been at the building 2 years. I don't know if it's gonna open. It opened. We here. You know, we live. Not being cocky or anything like that, but I'm confident in what I do and what I present to get the job done.
Yeah. So what I hear is that 10 years ago it was a thought.
It was a thought.
And then it became
write it down on paper.
Write it down on paper.
Right.
Right. That's important.
Right.
Writing it down. Then also it was your fiance's boss. Right. Telling you, yo, like, listen, like she's bigger than us.
Right.
And so did the thought come before the confirmation, or did the confirmation, or was that the thought that like, oh, like, we might need to do this?
No. So the thought came before that.
Okay.
The thought was before that. Like we knew we was gonna do it, you know, regardless. That was the stamp.
Okay.
Like it's time.
Yeah, that's good.
So now I'm like, okay, we gotta get the ball rolling. How do we get here?
Yeah.
You know, so we teamed up with a coach out of Atlanta. He's his name is the Child Care Whisperer.
Okay.
And he, you know, goes around to different cities and almost a guru of childcare.
Okay.
If you ask me, he's a guy that really knows children through and through, how to get to them, how to talk to them on their level. So we went to a conference in Atlanta in January of 25. I believe it was 25. We went down to Atlanta and just picked his brain on, you know, different ways to run the operation.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, from you know, what type of employees to hire, what to do with social media, how to, you know, leverage culture in your center, hiring, firing, all that type of stuff, how to deal with parents, reenacting and having role plays. I was actually a part of one of the role plays. Called me up front. And I was like, hold on, man. This is I mean, it was a big conference. It was a big conference, but he definitely had us a part of it, and it was great. We learned a lot.
Yeah. And so I want you to know, Holy Hustlers, that sometimes the Bible says, write the vision, make it plain, put it on stone tablets so that the messengers can run with it, though, right? And so the point is that sometimes don't get caught up in what you want to do.
Right.
Right. Like sometimes you got to sit down with yourself, write the thought out.
Right.
Right. And then sometimes got to bring confirmation.
Yeah.
If it's what you're supposed to do, bring confirmation. And so God brought that confirmation. And so from that confirmation, how long was it? Like, how long did it take for you to get from confirmation to here?
Confirmation to here. That was at least 4 to 5 years. At least 4 to 5 years. Yeah.
So you sat with with the burden of a thought.
Yeah.
For 4 to 5 years.
Yeah.
Right.
We have nothing but time.
Nothing but time.
We have nothing but time. Because I mean, as long as we progressing, and what do we have to lose?
Yeah.
Where we come from, what do we have to lose?
Nothing.
We have nothing.
If I lose it, I'm going back to what I know.
Back to what I know.
And so I can get what I got.
My girls ain't used to it. Well,
that's good. That's good.
My thought process is, we got to get to this next step.
Yeah.
You know, and living that like I said, the day to day, you know, habits, knowing that, you know, hey, someday this is gonna pay off, and knowing that, you know, this is something that is uncommon. You know, a lot of people can't put their mind past, you know, go get you a 9 to 5 and work this every day without outside drills, because they make it hard to have a 9 to 5 and want to do your own stuff. the fact that you even tell them you doing your own stuff is like, all right, watch this guy.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Watch you fail.
So they don't they don't want you to open up businesses and things like that. And I get it, but for me, I got 4 little girls. You know, and I got to make sure that they are well taken care of outside of me being here on this earth.
That's good. That's good.
So I've always looked at things like that. Like, how can I pass the next generation, their kids and their kids and their kids,
that's good.
something? You know what I mean? So
good.
they can live off of.
That's good. That's good. And so the risk was not honestly, I don't and so write it down, confirmation. You sit with it sometimes for a long period of time. Right. But then you take the risk and you opening it up. Right. And so to me, you counted the cost of what it takes to be here. Right. And so for this episode, right, like I really want them to really just to get it. Like I need you to understand sometimes you don't have to get everything at once. Right. Absolutely. Like sometimes you don't have to have the building. Sometimes you got to sit with the thought. Right. Sometimes after you get the thought, just wait for confirmation. Once you get confirmation, like wait for the next step. Right. Exactly. Like go get the mentor. Shit. Right. Like sometimes you don't have to go through this by yourself.
Exactly.
Because you don't have to prove something to yourself.
Exactly.
Or, I'm sorry, to anyone else. Sometimes, right. I think as entrepreneurs, that some like those who I've been around, that they feel like they got something to prove.
Exactly.
And it's like I think that we as entrepreneurs do a disservice to the community who were called to trying to prove something.
Exactly.
Because whenever when we can get over this or get through this better and faster or more efficiently, we drag our heels because we got something to prove, and our egos get in the way. But I actually don't want to go in that direction. Right? I really want to go here. I think that we have enough for entrepreneurship. What about how has faith played a role in this journey? Right? Like how has your relationship with Jesus Christ influenced this here coming to pass?
To be honest with you, man, it's been everything. You cannot do this. In my experience, you can't do it without faith. You can't go out on a limb and say you're about to open up a business and not have no faith. You don't know, starting something from scratch, you don't know what that's going to look like. You don't know who's going to support you. People say they support you, but do they support you? You know what I mean? And for us, it was like, it started with the thought and everything. In January of 2024, without having a building, we made the LLC. Once we made the LLC, it's official. You know what I mean? Before a building, LLC is official. So now I know I'm paying taxes on this regardless. No matter if it's a fee or we're not generating profit yet, but I'm still paying on it, which means it's in action. That's one of my action steps that I've written down, and we got it done. So that's when we put it out there. Malone Development Center is coming soon. That's good. 2024. So then we're working on steps to find a building. Our real estate agent, Slava Furs, he actually just started his brokerage, 85 West. We've been with him since he first started. But me and him and Aaliyah, we went to maybe 30 plus buildings in the city. So this was the years add up. You know what I mean? So we going to building the building, figuring out what we can do. And my sister and my brother-in-law, they are the one that found, they kept riding past this building and found this building. And like I was saying at the grand open, we wasn't looking at this building at first, but I mean, what I'm a firm believer is what's meant to be is meant to be. And that's what God wanted Malone Development Center to be here. So that's a part of the faith that, led us to this journey as well. But it's just getting there it's really, praying every night and just believing in God. You gotta walk by sight and faith and not by sight.
Amen.
Right?
Amen.
So that's the biggest thing, man. It's just you gotta believe that He's gonna get it done. And we did. We had, as soon as we wrote it out, we seen that almost the whole city supported us. This capacity here was 39 kids, and we had 43 on our waiting list as soon as we did that. But there's hurdles, right? State, you got, buildings, licensing, all that type of stuff that goes in effect. They come, we have one state person come and say, no, this is perfect, this is how it goes. Another person might come out a week or two later and say, no, you guys have to redesign this whole staircase, knock it all down, architect it up, right? And then we'll be able to have that upstairs. Okay, that was one. That's a couple months, process right there. The second one was they come back and they say, oh, you guys are gonna have an upstairs, so we're gonna need you guys to get a sprinkler system. Sprinkler systems are not cheap, to say the least. And if something's not cheap, that means it's gonna be what? A long time, right? So having faith, we did all of that, not knowing what our 40 kids we hanging on to, right? That process from getting the sprinkler system, architecting the steps up, because none of this was like this. This is like we put doors on, walls up, all of that.
Vision.
And so to get to where we got to, it took a lot of us, going through that process of just redesigning and things like that to get to where we got to. I lost where I was going with that.
And so we was talking about, right, like where faith, we know how has faith, your relationship with God.
Okay,
shaped,
yeah. Right. So the way he shaped it, but it was us believing that, the process was still gonna be done. So we had 40 kids to start. 2 years later, we don't know where they at. Like in our minds, this is our first time doing business. We're not thinking these kids are getting older. Some of these kids are getting into school, things like that. So when we finally did open, we started from scratch. All those kids we had on our waiting list is grown now, right? Because it's been 3-4 years, whatever it is. So the process that we thought was gonna, okay, this is perfect, we're gonna be able to do this, do that. No, it's dragging out a little bit longer. So now it's building it from scratch.
Yeah.
Because you have the 40, we had the exposure because the name is already out there since 24. We had our sign out there, all that good stuff. But the designs and things like that makes us start through business all over. You know what I mean? Yeah. So that's the hurdle, that you don't plan for, right? Yeah. The unexpected, things like that. You got things one way, you got a blueprint, you got it all mapped out. Whatever you got mapped out, you can add a few more things on there because there's gonna be some things that's unexpected that you're not thinking about. For us, we got the mentor in Atlanta, but locally we don't really have anybody that we're going to daily. Like we had a few that was able to reach out to that helped us out with a few things. But outside of that, like there's nobody that we're calling on the daily on a friendship level.
Yeah, no, that's challenging. In entrepreneurship, well, faith-wise, in this journey, you actually, like, you said something that blessed me. As soon as you said it, God, like, reminded me exactly what he did for me. So in 2022, I started DT Moffitt Enterprise, right?
Okay.
Because, this is, and, like, I'm thinking, like, bro, like, you gave me the vision in December. I'm like, bro, we up in December, January.
Right.
Bro, God gave me, God did not give me the direction.
Okay.
Until maybe last year.
Gotcha.
So from 22 to 20, 22 to 25, you're just sitting with just the thought.
Right.
I couldn't sit with the thought as an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
The moment it hits my phone, I'm gone. I'm up out of here, right?
Right.
But that's gonna bless, right? And so for the audience, I want you to know that he talked about, like, with your faith, right? Like that when you apply it, like, expect there to be delay.
Yeah.
Right, but, like, of course, in entrepreneurship, delay don't mean denied. It just means that, like, you just have to wait on God.
Yeah.
As a holy hustler, right? Like, you have the thought, he confirms it. You got to put in the work. You know what I'm saying? Like, but, like, there are some things, like, you get the mentorship, you get the advice, you build it out, but there's still going to be obstacles, right? And so, what would you say would be, the lesson spiritually, that God wanted you to get for the audience, right?
Right.
Because this is going to be the question that lands.
Right.
The show, right? And so again, all of these setbacks with the state, not having the mentorship, having to build this up again, having the vision, right? But it's not coming to pass. Having 40, and listen, a person speaking, entrepreneurship, of course, well, for me, it was a replacement for sports. Down to me, I think it's my calling, my purpose. But like, bro, like I'm not going into business for charity.
Right. Profit muffin.
You know what I'm saying? I'm here for some money, right? And so I can only imagine how much money that it has cost you along the way. Listen, sprinkler system, come on, well, whatever. Cost bands, you know what I'm saying? Like engineering, construction, right? Then license.
Right.
All that stuff costs. And we still ain't churned the profit yet.
Exactly.
40 kids gone. Right. And so like and all of that, like what is the one lesson that you believe that God would want you to give as a holy hustler?
One lesson
that you would take into the next season.
That I would take into the next season. I think the lesson there for me is be patient. Be patient. And continue to put in those daily good deposits, put in those good habits. Do your daily stuff that's going to get you to the next level. Little things in life, like pay attention to detail. For me, is like making your bed every morning, or create routines within yourself, because you can get distracted on this path of what you're doing. So it taught me to slow down. I think the lesson that he's taught me was just continue to live your life, be where your feet are.
That's good.
Be where your feet are, and continue to do what you do every day. And when it's your time, it's your time. They might have got this daycare, like we've thrown out this daycare idea before a lot of daycares open. And I was seeing people opening up daycare centers when before we already put the thought out there. But I'm not a guy that hates or anything like that. I send blessings. Bless you for your journey, and it was your time. You know what I mean? So for me, it's really just being patient, like, and believing in him. That was the biggest thing, because I left Enterprise to start this thing. You know what I mean? So leaving a corporation where I'm making six figures, you know what I mean? Because I believe in what we got, cooking over here at Malone Development. It taught me I had to jump, take that leap of faith, literally. And I'm a firm believer that he will answer prayers. Firm believer that no matter what, you just put one foot in front of the other. You keep believing. You keep doing what you do every single day. You'll be the next entrepreneur, cutting ribbons and opening up businesses. It's not easy. But you gotta believe in him. You gotta believe. You gotta have a support team around you. I'm not doing this myself. I got a team. I got a team that's gonna handle reportings. I got a team that handles state. You got a team that handles this, handles that. You gotta come together. You can't do everything on your own. We gotta reach back in the community, help our family, put family in positions to be doing what you do, just like how you are. I don't know who it was I was talking to, but I was like, I love it. I love the organization behind it, and being able to put people in place for a common goal, bro. It was leadership. You know what I mean?
Sure.
But God gives you all of that, and I feel like just looking back on my entire life is him putting me in position to be prepared for what I'm doing now. Like we all wanted to be the next NFL player.
You hear me?
Celebrities, this, that. You know what I mean? We wanted to be that guy. Now I'm at the point in life, I don't care about none of that. Like, I salute the guys that do it. I respect it. Give them their flowers. You know what I mean? Because we all wanted to do that. But I've learned to be where my feet are. Like, I'm happy with what I'm doing in life. Like, I don't want to be out in different cities doing this, doing that. Like, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. Raising my kids how I'm supposed to, reaching back out, making sure my nephews is good, little cousins is good, things like that. Because I was on the coaching route. Yeah. I was going the coaching route and went up to Saginaw Valley State University. Got a call from Ball State right after that. And we wanted to do a lot of things with coaching, and I could have, but knowing that I would have had to move my girls to 17 different states throughout their careers, and things like that, you got to start planning for things like that. So got out, did the corporate route, and trusted God the whole way. I didn't plan for none of this. You know what I mean? Our plan was totally different, but the biggest lessons from my whole life is be patient, be where your feet are, love the people around you, and continue to live in His light. You know what I mean? Stay faithful to Him.
Amen. Amen. Listen, guys, thank you for trusting us to guide you and to lead you for the time that we have you. I need you to know that it is your charge to make sure that you open up the door for the Lord to come in. Right? You said yes to God. And just because God bless you don't mean that you forget Him, because you are where you are because you once prayed for God to get you there. And so how dare we forget God when we get exactly what we pray for. And so I need you to make sure that you open up the door, that you hear the voice of the Lord, and that He shall come in, that you and Him could be intimate with Him. And so make sure also that you like, you share, subscribe, that you tune in every Tuesday at noon, right? Make sure that you are here to learn how to heal out loud, take up space, and speak truth. I'm your host. This is Mike
Malone.
Yep, of the Malone Development Center, and we'll see you next week. Peace.
Appreciate you for having me, brother.
Peace.
Man, I hope you can edit out sweat.